We're going.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Hope Fest. We are getting ready to do our Cancer Dog section, and we are super excited about these guest speakers, guys. These are some amazing people. I am going to let Justin kind of explain a little bit about this session coming in, and we'll start bringing in some guests.
Absolutely. So we're working with some amazing partners who are directly working with dogs in one way or another, including people who are actually helping treat dogs with severe cancers and other health conditions using cannabinoids and other holistic medicines. And then we're also working with the proprietor of a dog shelter, and he's going to be telling us about his work and how we're all working together to help save dogs from cancer and prevent them from being put down. So just like cannabis works for humans, dogs also have endocannabinoid systems. They can benefit basically anything a human can benefit from. The mechanisms are the same in dogs. And of course, you got to be extra careful with dogs, but both THC and CBD both have immense medical value. And we really want to get out there that it's not a death sentence for a dog to get cancer, and we can all work together to give them a fighting chance. And yeah, what these people have done is really incredible, and we're all very proud to work with them. Hello, Jim.
Well, hello. How's it going?
It's going great. Today has been epic. That's the only word you can use.
I agree. A lot of good people. We see what the community that we're building is really starting to pay off. The stories are great. Those two stories with Jack and Dave are legendary stories that will go down in the record books as saving a lot of lives, for sure. Excited to be here. Cancer dogs is one of my major passions. We hate cancer. We love dogs. That's our little code saying. And we feel we've got a pretty cool program working with dog adoption partners. And also vendors that support the industry. And we have one of each on this call that are going to be joining us soon. So excited about that. And let's go ahead and bring them on, I guess. Let me tell Jamie to bring the party on. Justin, did you talk about cancer dog stories at all while we're waiting? Why don't you go over just a little bit with what you're having with dogs? How much success that you're getting, and what you can do differently. What other information that we need to get when we're talking to people or other people are sharing their stories. What are the most important data points? And
so one of our big projects is collecting as many dog cases as possible who have cancer and what they did. So some of the most important data points are what were the symptoms that led up to their diagnosis, what holistic therapies did they use, including cannabis and other supplements, what were the doses that were used. That's something that's very critical. Actually, how much THC and CBD was being used, and then what were the results, what happened with it. And diet is also critical. So basically, our goal is by collecting ideally hundreds and hundreds of stories, we can analyze what are the factors that are most consistently leading to success. And we already have about 80. And even then, we're already starting to be able to identify some trends of what is leading to success. So as we get more data and that data becomes more robust, we're going to be able to make more well-founded claims about what's working. So our goal is to share as many stories as possible and be able to get this data out there and eventually change the paradigm of how dogs are treated. And yeah, there's no one else out there I know who's going this in depth in collecting this level of data. So we have partners that we're working with who are absolutely instrumental to this, and we wouldn't be able to do our work without them.
Hey, Justin, can you get everybody in? Jamie's computer froze up, but let everybody in.
Able to.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll get them all in. Is Kat coming in too?
I'm not sure.
All right, well, she can come in later if it
Yeah. Hey, there's Jesse and Isabel.
Oh, and then Suzanne got in. Yeah, Suzanne's
Oh,
definitely
right
in.
on. Suzanne's here.
Where
Yeah.
is she? Hello.
I'm about to bring
Hey,
her
Josh. Yeah,
Right
bring
on.
in Suzanne.
Hi, everybody.
Hey. And the cool thing is Happy Friday, right?
Yeah, happy
Yes.
Hi,
Friday.
Suzanne. Welcome to the party. All right. Well, we have had an interesting networking day.
in.
Really fun building a community like we are.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of like-minded people, and a lot of times this never happens. You know, it just falls. The opportunity fades away, and it just never comes to this point where we are now. So I want to thank everybody for being part of it. For
It's time we
sure.
all come together.
Yeah. So Josh, introduce yourself, buddy.
Sure. My name is Joshua. I'm with Paws in the City. I know Jim through Paws in the City. He's a longtime volunteer and adopter. I sit on the board at Paws in the City, but we're all volunteers here. Nobody here accepts a paycheck. We all do it out of the kindness of our hearts. And as you can imagine with a animal rescue or rescues in general, sometimes the mission changes over its lifetime. We've been in business or been operating since 2005. We were much broader back in 2005. Kind of one of the first things we did post Katrina was focus on the animals that were all displaced after the hurricane. But recently we have been heavily focused on animals with medical conditions. So it was a natural segue to work with Jim and look at this Cancer Dog program. So we're excited to be here and happy to help dogs with medical conditions.
It's awesome.
Perfect. Right on. Okay, Jesse and Isabel, your turn.
Well, I'm
Well,
Isabel.
I'm Jesse,
Jesse.
and we're with the Healing Project. We've been helping dogs and cats, all types of vertebrate animals, pets for the last, I would say it's been like 8 years now, huh?
Consistently.
7, 8 years.
Yeah.
And actually we started after about 2010 when my brother was diagnosed with cancer. That's when we first started. So it's actually coming up on 13 years
that we started.
that we started. Yeah, his anniversary is next week, actually.
Yeah, that really spearheaded everything because, F cancer, and we're here to kick its ass. So
Yeah, bring it on.
Yeah. So yeah, we
love it.
started after he was diagnosed with cancer, and we were looking, well, actually Isabel was looking for a treatment option for him. And like everybody else that goes down this journey, we were kind of looking here and there with reishi and, frequency and energy. We did all kinds of stuff. And then eventually we found FECO. And that's kind of where we started our FECO journey.
Awesome. Thank you, Jesse, Isabel. We'll get back to you. Suzanne,
Hi there.
great to have you here.
Thank you. Good to be here. I'm Suzanne DeCarion. I started with a cannabis collective here in California. I started making cannabis oil in 2013. I started working with Jesse and Isabel years later. I started with humans, and I have a story that, many people have. We were catapulted into an education we didn't plan on having due to people in our lives that were out of options. And, sometimes it's ourselves, sometimes it's a loved one. But no matter what, that's kind of the driving force for a while and sends us into a research cave and everything else. But there weren't a lot of cannabis oil makers at that time. And so it really was kind of once the word got out, the floodgates opened, and I was getting calls from all over the world, actually, for people that were really looking for good oil. And but anyways, my paths crossed with Jesse and Isabel, and that relationship started. And then fast forward a few years later, and they started working with animals. And again, I have worked with countless critically ill patients, but humans and animals. But Jesse and Isabel have taken the animal thing and made it something incredibly special and unique. And they have literally dedicated their entire lives to working with our four-leggeds. And it's impressive, just really honing in on dosing. And, it's definitely a different energy, with animals than it is with humans. They don't have free will, so really mindfully stepping into doing, what's right for them. And I just watched the two of them just do an incredibly brilliant job of honoring the voiceless.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Man, my dog's got a voice. She barks
Right.
loud.
They actually do communicate incredibly well. They're better communicators than humans. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Right?
Although what
Thanks,
we always tell
Suzanne.
people, if we don't have to communicate with people because they're usually, they come along with a bunch of baggage, then it's easier just to talk to the animal. It'd be easier, but
Yeah.
man, it'd be nicer.
Yeah, I know, right? Just send the animal, please. We'll send a note home what to do. Yeah, stay. Hey, so this is how it's going to work. This is kind of what we've dreamed up. Hey, there's my son Eric. I want everybody to say hi to Eric.
Hey,
Glad to have
Eric.
you on here, Eric.
Hey everyone. Thanks for including me.
Of
Just
Eric,
getting
course.
how
back
you doing,
home,
brother?
so doing well. Sounds like I missed a
I
fun
gotta
day.
be honest. Eric's pretty awesome, and big inspiration for what a lot of this that's going on right now. So we're pumped for that. The way we think this can work best is we want to create a database of caregivers for cancer dogs across the world, basically. Teach them how to do it, educate them, make them real comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And make them where they're comfortable enough where we can actually get them the tools to be able to react quick, because a lot of times this is something you need to react quick. And then we build a protocol through stories. We've got a lot of stories. I mean, Jesse and Isabel are just pumping them out, man, and we're just getting started. Justin's on here. Justin's doing a great job making a story better. We're contacting the people and filling in the blanks, because they don't know what they need to tell us yet, and we didn't even know. So right now that's our motive. We think we have a great partner with Jesse and Isabel and Suzanne. I mean, I'm 100% confident with that. Paws in the City is our partner. Eric is on the board of directors, and we all agreed. Honestly, Josh didn't mention it, but a good friend of ours passed away from cancer. The guy that started Paws in the City. His name was Mark Verma, and a lot of this is for him. He was a good dude. He did a lot of stuff, man, and we were good buddies. We were just getting started, really moving oil, getting dogs on CBD, because in Texas, you know how that works.
Oh yeah.
And I even had an experience I got to share real quick. It's really funny. They had a dog, and my first dog, Stars, that we had, and RIP Stars. We were going to adopt a dog, and when the dog came over for the visit, somehow it got into like the trash, and in the trash was a glob of edibles that I had that melted, and I just threw it away and didn't think about it. Well, the freaking dog ate it, and when it got home, they called me up and they said, "Jim, our dog is stoned AF," and we took him to the vet. And what the hell, man? So they wouldn't let me adopt them. They wouldn't let me adopt them because I got
We're on the ban
stoned.
list.
Got him high.
I know. But then the next morning he woke up, he wanted a cold beer, and everything was back to normal,
Yeah.
man. So it didn't hurt him a bit.
No, it should have been the opposite. They should have said, "Man, you're so cool. We want you to adopt them."
They
Right.
really missed that up. That dog missed a great chance, man. His name was
Yeah.
Gizmo, so he would have been perfect for the world that we're in. But yeah, Mark Verma was awesome, and that's why we're doing this. Honestly, he deserves it. And the concept is we collect stories. We don't come up with like Jim says this, Jim says that. We collect as many stories as we can, and that data is aggregated into a point where we can identify key data points that are going to move the needle with the dogs based off of what's happened before in the past, instead of like hypothetically one person's opinion. So we respect everybody's single opinion, but we think if we get 100 stories and we aggregate the data and basically crowdsourcing, like Waze, when 10 people on Waze say the traffic is backing up, they say go right. That's what we want to do with cancer, and basically it's a whole health oncology approach. And we want to do it with dogs, because dogs, for one thing, they don't cheat on their diet. They don't cheat on anything, actually. They're the most loyal, you know, hey, there we go. there's a fresh pup right there, man. You know, we're big believers in doing whatever it takes to make the dog's life better. You know, we know we can't save them all, but we know we can definitely make a big impact.
Make them feel
We
better.
think this is, yeah, we think we can scale this too. There's a lot of work that you guys can do, but there's a lot of work that you can't do. And that's what we want to help pick up, you know, and help those people that are in different parts of the world that just need some support. And really what we call it, it's hope. That's what this is, Hope Fest. Now it all kind of makes sense. You know, it really is just giving that person with the dog some positive reinforcement, because we want to take the frown away from that owner, because it makes the dog feel like crap too, I would imagine, right?
Yeah.
You know, so that's the whole approach, and I'm going to leave it open for discussion now, but I just wanted to set the.
I agree with you, Jim. You know, we talked about this initially when we were first talking about getting involved with you guys in the FECO playbook. A lot of what we do for people is basically managing their fears, their anxiety, helping them deal with the unknowns, because a lot of what they're dealing with in the beginning is something they've never dealt with before, like us. You know, we dealt with my brother's cancer. You know, that's how we got started with his cancer. We didn't have a clue, man, and we were scared. I was freaking every day. I thought, what's going to happen to my brother? What's going to happen to my brother? And when the day finally did come, and my brother was in pain, suffering, dealing with all those emotions, and I held his hand when he passed, and you know, that to me was the biggest turning point, I think, and I didn't even realize it at the time, but it was the biggest turning point of my life, because I was so pissed, man. I was just like, fuck cancer, and I want to do something about it, whatever it is. I don't care what it is. And I didn't know what it was at that point, but Isabel was the one that ended up coming up with all these things that we eventually got involved with. You know, cannabis was the big one, obviously, but we did a lot of other things with diet. We were talking about nutrition and supplements, but you're right. You know, a lot of what we do in the very beginning is helping people at least feel better about what we're about to do with the journey, you know, the cannabis journey.
That's awesome, Jesse. Yeah, that's and like you said, it's not just one dimensional, you know, and it's really it is. And now we're working with caregivers. Here's what I had to go get my favorite Frisbee in the world.
We hate cancer.
Very cool.
That's my dog right there, and that's Eric's dog, Khaleesi. They're both Paws in the City's pups. Yeah, we love these. This is one of our partners that makes these Frisbees for us. We're excited about that. We love Frisbee sport. You know, I played Ultimate for a long time, and disc golf is a big part of our fun times and promotional things. We do disc golf tournaments, stuff like that. Support a lot of disc golf players. But yeah, so we're gonna create some serious momentum with this. Here's our team right here. Honestly, we got Eric's girlfriend, Ashley. She's super smart, super passionate. Mark was her best friend, honestly. And we'll be able to meet Ashley, and if she's around, have her come say hi, Eric. She'll be a big part of building the database. She's like a Microsoft wizard. So she'll be managing that. Basically, we're wanting to reach out to, like, Paws in the City has 450,000 followers on Facebook. They are a huge organization in the social media world. And also they have a lot of fosters. So what we want to do is reach out to their fosters through them, which is normally the case. And then they'll ask who wants to get involved. So in the meantime, all of us need to build that program to make them feel comfortable, right? Like what would they're going to ask? Well, what do we need to do? You know? And I would say not that much. That's how I am, you know, but there's a lot more than not that much. It's extensive. A certain person will be a better fit than other people. Now, we might not know what that is, but Jesse and Isabel, you guys might know, you know, Josh, you might know. Fosters you might already know what fosters are, because you're already dealing with sick dogs, right? There's a different, I've seen legs cut, amputations, and all different types of stuff.
Well, the good thing about us, Jim, is that we have dealt with all types of cancers that dogs might have. And we have a podcast that we started creating these YouTube videos that showcase some of the cancers that we've helped and the success stories that we've had with the people that have had those success stories. And we've built a database of about 4 to 5 videos now. There's about 15 different videos we want to get to. So between osteosarcoma, lymphoma, you know, mast cell tumors, meningiomas, carcinomas, all the types of cancers dogs can get, we've helped in the past and we've had success with it. You know, not everybody obviously has the same amount of success and not everybody achieves remission, but that's typically our goal. You know, even in the very beginning, as we help clients with their doggies that have, you know, issues, whether it's pain, inflammation, lack of appetite, diarrhea, whatever the issue, there's palliative relief that happens that we initially help with. And from there, you know, they start becoming more involved with the belief, right? That they think, well, it's starting to work. My dog is starting to see results and my dog is starting to feel a certain way. And I see it because my dog is doing things that my dog hasn't done in a while. And from there,
that's cool.
It's awesome because the energy, you're 100% right when you said that in the beginning. The energy exchange that needs to happen when we talk about cannabis has to always be positive, because for so long it's been thought of something, you know, negatively, right? Because of propaganda.
There's a stigma. Reader's Digest.
And people still kind of believe that. People still want to say, hey, it's a street drug, and you know, the government says it's this and that. But at this point, we know better. You know, there's just been too many success stories where we know better, and we've experienced it for ourselves, you know.
That's awesome. And so what's the most common type of dog cancer right off the top of your head?
Lymphoma. 100%.
No kidding. Okay. Well, why don't we focus on that first?
Number one. Yeah, and it's
typical
across the board. Cats, all felines, all types of canines, they are susceptible to lymphoma. It's almost like the old school parvos back in the day. I remember when I was, you know, a kid, dogs used to get parvo all the time. It's almost like that now, you know, but in the same respect, we see it as one of the it's one of the better cancers to get, really, because it's so treatable. It's an inflammatory blood cancer that when we get started, all that inflammation goes away and the dog starts feeling better in days. You know,
is there a specific breed or age which is more common?
No, it's all across. It's crazy now, Josh. I remember back in the day when I was a kid, I don't remember any dogs having any cancer. You know, when I was a kid,
we didn't really hear that much. Man.
No, nobody had cancer.
Your dog got run over. That's how they died.
Cancer. Right? It was a novelty thing. It was like, oh, somebody got cancer. Oh my God. It's so, wow, that, you know, it's so crazy. Nowadays, we've heard 1-year-olds with brain tumors. We've heard of 12-year-olds with mast cell tumors, which you usually get those when you're younger. So it's really the gamut, you know, every dog, every breed, every age group. It doesn't discriminate anymore.
Well, 60 Minutes did an amazing show that you guys should all go back and just Google it. And it talks about why working with dogs with cancer is so proactive, basically, because of the breed specific side of it, you know, and that they were really saying that these, you know, honestly, things are changing too. They're evolving. And 60 Minutes was a year ago, but they might have been 5 years worth of old information. Like I said, I think all the craziness in the world is causing more cancers than ever for everybody. But the 60 Minutes one is worth everybody looking at. People that are listening to this, definitely go back to listen to it. It's really educational in terms of how breeds are getting certain types of cancers. And then that's good for us, actually, because that's how you learn and then find out where it's coming from, right? You can identify like the G53 gene or whatever it is. You know, they're saying that if you have that gene, you're going to get more cancers, or you're going to get certain breast cancers or something like that. I remember Eric even got tested for something similar to that. Luckily, he didn't have it. So even though he had 2 different tumors in 2 different places in his body, you know, that wasn't the case. It was just a freaking bad luck, you know. So,
well, to go back to what Josh was saying, sorry, Jim. Well,
no, go ahead.
Going back to what Josh was saying earlier, we have noticed, though, that certain breeds are more susceptible to certain types of cancer. Yes.
Okay.
Like Great Danes, osteosarcomas, golden retrievers, lymphoma, pit bulls and boxers, and that type of breed. They get a lot of mast cell tumors and adenocarcinomas, transitional cell carcinomas. So there are certain breeds that are a little more susceptible. Golden doodles get lymphoma. You're right. There are some breeds that are a little more susceptible. We haven't been able to document that yet because, we haven't had the playbook. But now that we do, we'll be able to document that and be able to say, hey, based on what we know now, and we have all these different categories of cancers and different breeds of dogs and cats or whatever, we can now come up with, like you said, a database. We know now this breed is susceptible more than other breeds for this type of cancer and whatnot. So yeah, I think once we get to that point where we figure out stuff, it's going to be gold, Jim, because all that information, it's uncharted, really uncharted territory when it comes to doggies. We haven't even done it. Even though it's in the back of my head, I know
you've done it, but you haven't documented
but
it.
I haven't documented it. Yeah, and that would be cool.
So for the non-FECO, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, because I feel like I've heard it pronounced different ways. Expert, could you be proactive in the approach? Could you start using cannabis extract without even having any symptoms of cancer?
Yes.
Okay.
We don't have cancer, my wife and I. At least I hope we don't, but we use it daily, not just for recreational, which most people think, well, you're going to smoke some cannabis and you're going to get high and sit on your couch and watch. No, there's real science behind a lot of the compounds, and a lot of the compounds that are coming out now, they're still being figured out, like CBG. We don't know 100% what that does, but there's a lot of research that says it can regenerate the pancreas, the liver, it helps the heart. There's other compounds like deltas and different HHCs that now we're incorporating into the FECO. So we do a lot of FECO, but we are proactive with a lot of other compounds, Josh, where we can give a dog, say, CBD for a wellness protocol, and that dog may never, ever experience any autoimmune disorder because of that CBD running through its veins, at a very small amount, but on a constant, dosage throughout the day. And that's basically what we advocate is, being preactive with it or proactive with it and dealing with things that never show up. That way you never have to deal with it.
Sure. I like the term.
Creating an environment that's not habitable for cancer.
Yes, like high alkaline, right? High alkaline body, cancer can't grow and it can't survive. Exactly. And that's what we want to do is we want to prevent. We're, our program that we've been working on for 11 years, Eric and I and our whole family, is early recognition is critical. And if you catch it stage 2, you catch it stage 1 instead of stage 2, that's prevention. And that's what we want to do is we want to have identifying things that really stand out like a lump and really do something about it, instead of waiting. But even more importantly, proactive. I like your word preactive. Actually, that's actually,
I like that one because it's usually the mind plays tricks when you're being you're behind already. You're
proactive and behind. Yeah, I mean, you're following rank, man. It's like the wave already happened. Now congratulations, you're going to catch the next one, but you already.
We do a lot of that in the very beginning because we understand, and there's people that have come to us and have told us we don't know exactly 100% what my dog has, but there's a mass. It looks angry. It looks like this, or my dog's behaving a certain way, and we can tell that my dog's not feeling well. And from there, we just start being preactive, right? And we start telling them, well, if it is, we can help it with these things. But let's say it's not. Let's say it's not any of those things. Let's say it's something completely different. It doesn't matter. We're never going to hurt your dog. We're never going to cause any problems. If anything, we could probably solve that other problem too with the same medicine. So that's the thing that we always want to advocate. And people want to say, until I find out exactly what my dog has, then I'm not going to start. Well,
see, that's
cannabis doesn't care. We got to start, brother.
There's no reason to wait. And we always say that we're always right now we're last in the pecking order. Not the dog, but the human, because humans are stupider than dogs. They go to the doctor. The doctor says you're going to die. go home and get your affairs in order, then they start looking at alternative
Suppression,
methods.
right?
You know, it's like too late, possibly, maybe not, but it's late in the game. Honestly,
And then
not
they
ideal.
try to cram a lot of medicine in them, and then they get so high, they get so afraid they don't want to do it anymore. But it's like, let's start at
exactly.
the
They don't even
beginning.
have time
Let's
to
start at the beginning.
yeah.
Have bad experience.
They
Yeah.
never get started. They never get started. And that's one thing that we as a team can create, the buildup and the tolerance, education and actual process. You know, I know you guys have it down pretty good. I mean, your drops, but even one of your stories was like, yeah, they miscued on dropper and drop. So they did a whole dropper.
Crazy,
I
right?
actually I actually did one of the
5
tincture.
drops and she did 5 droppers at a time, which was like, the dog
Happens all the
He
time.
did great. It was fine, but still, it's, you know.
That
those
dog
little
was on the
things.
fast track.
He was on the fast track. And that's the thing
Well,
I
I
really
do-
love about the dogs, because it's such a gateway for people to realize that this medicine is a viable option, not just for the dogs, but for everybody.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't want to take their own health into their hands until they actually see it for themselves with one of their loved ones that they're trying to heal. And then all of a sudden it just turns on the light bulb and they're like, oh my God, can we use it for mine, my mom, my dad, us? And it's just like,
Yeah.
that's it. That's it,
Yeah,
you know, because they wouldn't have done that on their own coming to us for themselves. But when
Yeah.
it's the dog,
It
it's
can-
something different, you know?
They pay attention to it. It's like, you
Oh,
saved
yeah.
my dog with
Oh,
what? You know?
Yeah, and then they're researching galore and they're just like, oh my God, this is amazing.
And you know what the coolest thing is if, and I'm only using Eric as an example, and Eric, I hate to use you as an example, but we don't want anything to happen to Eric. I mean, this is an old soul that's done some amazing things in his life. And that's what he's like. He's like he's like my dog, man. If I would not want my dog that had cancer to be gone, because he turned into like an amazing human being, you know what I mean? And that dogs can do the same thing. I see that, you know, and you're letting that go. That's because I always kind of judge not where people are, but what's their potential, you know, what is the opportunity for growth? And if it's high, you know, there's a certain place for them, but the other people, if I'm looking for like long-term business, look for somebody with a lot of opportunity that can really make stuff happen. Not that we don't want them to be peaked out, you know.
Room for growth.
Yeah, room for growth, man. And so, you know, we want to save dogs, whatever it takes. Thank God you guys are doing what you're doing, Jesse and Isabel. Thank you very much. This has inspired us. It gave us, you know, it brought us to this point. Now we were jumping around trying to figure out if we're going to take the dogs in ourselves. We're going to do this, and then, you know, Josh was really kind of relying on us to build a program, and we're like, shit, you know, what are we going to do? And now this is all coming together really nice.
Well, I'm glad, because when we first started, Jim, we had visions of what you guys are doing now with the playbook. We always wanted to do that in the very beginning, but as you know now, it's an undertaking, man. There's so much work. I mean, we created our website, we did the YouTube video, the podcast, we built a studio in our backyard, in our house, did all kinds of stuff out of our own pocket, right? And we built all this ourselves, never asking anybody for anything in return. But at this point, man, it's nice to know that you guys are getting on board with it, because we really like that idea. We've always wanted to do it, to have that opportunity to be part of you guys and share our stories. It's awesome.
That's the medicine. That makes an amazing medicine. And that's
100% the reason, in my opinion, how we're able to do what we're able to do, because without that medicine, without that potential of having such good medicine, who knows where the results would be, right? I mean, we could have still achieved something, but the success stories that we have, I believe, are very, very much a reason because of the medicine that we get from Suzanne and what she does.
Yeah,
100%.
Thank you, Suzanne.
Thank you. Yeah, we tell her all the time. She's our angel.
That's awesome. It's amazing when you get it done and then you get to do something yourself. I mean, because I use mine for sleep. I used to, you know, do a Xanax almost every night, you know, sometimes the whole 4-bar, you know, just to make sure I slept, you know, and FECO does the same thing.
Yeah, no, we do the same thing. We recommend it for people all the time, because that's typically the first thing that causes autoimmune disorders, lack of sleep, right? You're not sleeping good. The next morning, you don't get enough endorphins, enough serotonin in your body, melatonin, and everything goes downhill from there. And start doing that a week into the future, 1 month into the future, a year into the future, not sleeping right, and you're going to develop stuff. So to prevent that by sleeping right, by getting enough rest, that's the first part of healing, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if everybody out here, Joshua, probably haven't experienced this, but FECO coma is a real thing.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I do too, man. I'm okay with it, man.
Yeah. I go into some other realm of consciousness and I dream with aliens and other beings from other planets. I don't mind. I'm cool. I fit right in. So I'm cool.
And you wake up and everything's good, man. Yeah.
Beautiful thing.
It's not for everybody though.
No, not the weak hearted, not the weak hearted for sure, man. So right on, man. So let's wrap this up. I'd like to go around and just have some closing, let everybody have a chance to make a closing statement. How about that? Justin, let's start with you, man.
Yeah, I personally believe that cannabis and diet, those two things specifically, but obviously other holistic things, but I truly believe this is going to change the world. This is a paradigm shift in how cancer is treated for dogs and humans. And we have a very unique opportunity here to raise awareness for that, because once people are seeing that it's working for dogs, it's already been proven to work in mice and rats and the formal studies. But when we really prove to the world that it works in dogs, it's going to open it up to the world for humans as well. And I truly believe it's going to be one of the greatest revolutions in mankind's history. And the people here are going to be helping make it happen. So I'm very happy right now.
No pressure. I love that, man.
Amen to that. Yeah,
amen to that, man. No doubt. Okay, Jesse and Isabel. Yeah, good luck following that up, man. Go ahead.
Well, we're just grateful. We're grateful that you guys asked us to be part of this, and me and Isabel, we've talked about this for so long that it's coming true. It's like a dream come true for us, really, because we've always thought of this as something that we do passionately because we feel that people need to know about this sort of information. Without knowing, you can't really help yourself. And if you do know a little bit, it's dangerous, man. Knowledge is power, and knowing how to heal yourself with some type of medicine that is available to you naturally, it's amazing, man. That to me is the power that we have in our hands, to be able to give somebody that power and they can run with it, and they're just, yeah, man, that to me is gold.
Awesome. Joshua?
Sure. Yeah, I'm much more of a consumer in this panel discussion than an expert. I now know how to pronounce it. It's FECO. That's what you guys are saying. Right? FECO.
Well,
okay.
If you're Latino, you could say either way, but FECO is kind of what they say.
Okay.
I say FECO, and I don't speak very well, so sometimes it sounds like fecal.
Okay.
It's like
But no, thanks for inviting us, and obviously we're excited to have another avenue to help the dogs that we try to pay attention to, the ones with medical conditions. So for those listening, I'm definitely much more of a consumer in this panel discussion than an expert. So I'll leave it to you guys to speak on all that behalf.
So, Suzanne?
I think, getting the information out there, getting the education out there. There are so many animal products floating around that are actually dangerous because the information doesn't come with them, and people don't realize that there's real protocols that do real things that, they don't know the difference between whole plant medicine and an isolate, for instance. So they're just seeing a pet grade tincture at their vet's office or at the pet store, and they don't know anything about the depth of what's possible or what they really need. And usually when they get on the phone with me or Jesse or Isabel or anyone that's on our team, they're usually pretty blown away because there's so much saturating the market, right? Mm-hmm. And so for us, we live in this little bubble of miracles, and it's a small one. So we know what we've seen, we know what we've experienced, and it's absolutely mind-blowing with regards to animals and humans alike. There is no pet grade. It is the same, right? So that just kills me. Right. So, for us, the fact that that information can get out and get out there to more people. They deserve to have the information. That's what kills me, is when people don't have it. It's not fair.
100%.
So
Yeah.
Love it. I love
thank
it.
you for doing this.
Man,
It's about
thank you
time.
for right on. Thanks, Susan. Eric.
Yeah. So, I mean, I give cannabis credit for saving my life back in 2012 when I was going through Burkitt's lymphoma, and didn't eat for 3 days. And my dad brought me a gummy, and I was hesitant because I was just kind of whacked out of my mind from intensive chemo and being in the hospital. And I knew I had to eat, I had to sleep, and I couldn't do either. So I was just kind of like a vegetable. And that gummy got me to eat, and I felt 1,000 times better. And I also was on like 8 different medicines to try to counteract my symptoms for the chemo, and trying to take a stupid pill to make me hungry. And I was just whacked out, you know. So it helped me eat and helped me feel better. And you know, with the collaboration between Early Recognition is Critical, Paws in the City, it's exciting to be able to help dogs sooner. I mean, I was lucky to be in California at the time during my treatment and had access to good medicine. A lot of people don't. So hopefully our program will get the word out and hopefully get better medicine, get access to better medicine across the country. So Jesse and Isabel, it's awesome what y'all are doing, and look forward to being
And Eric didn't add in that we got a lot of trouble at the hospital, man. They
What's
flipped
that
out,
smell?
man.
I found out I don't like to take edibles in the hospital, but when I get home, it's a beautiful thing. In the hospital, I was like freaking out a little bit.
I brought it straight to the source, man. We had to get them to eat, man. So I think I brought them this waffle. I think it might have been about 100 mgs of kill or something.
Yeah.
So it was
3 hours before I got my results, until my diagnosis, basically. So that was
nice.
Anxiety.
Man, yeah. So yeah, I can't thank you guys. This is a dream come true for me too. You know, just I've been thinking about this for a long time, and being able to get this close, we're at a point now where we can start. I mean, you guys are already helping dogs, but we're running now. We're not walking, we're running. We got partners like Josh. Sorry.
No, I said we're just excited to really share our stories with everybody.
Yeah. We got something special here. Right on. And cool part about it is nobody owns it. It's everybody's. It's like open source, you know, type of deal.
Well, just so you know, Jim, and I think people need to understand this from us, is that we don't have any problem sharing our information with anybody. We would love to share it with everybody, because that's the power of what we're trying to do. We're trying to educate people. And if we can't share it, then obviously that's never going to happen. So we are 100% willing to share everything, because at the end of the day, if people can understand how it works, more people are going to know. And that's the point. You know, we got to share it with the entire world.
Make it a normal.
I love that.
Yeah. We got to normalize everything that we're doing, so that people
it.
don't see it in a weird way. And it's just another avenue we could take to heal ourselves.
Yeah.
I think the stories will
not doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think the stories will normalize it.
Yeah.
Enough stories. Imagine having a person with a dog that has lymphoma, because so many dogs have lymphoma, and you send them 50 stories for them to evaluate of success, and a couple bad ones. Oh my God, that's so powerful. Yeah. That's what we want to do. Yeah. We give them an option to see and give them hope. Let's
exactly
do that.
100%.
Right on. Well, let's leave it at that. What a beautiful group. And thank you so much for everybody doing what you're doing. And we're just getting started, man. That's the best thing about it.
Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah.
Right on.
Awesome.
Cool. Everyone, happy Friday. You guys are so cute, Jesse and Isabel. Oh my God. I love couples that really freaking love each other, man. And you guys are not faking that. It's a beautiful thing, man. Keep it up. Right on.
Hashtag relationship goals.
Yeah, absolutely. Right on.
We're all right.
All right.
We're
Cheers, everybody. Happy Friday.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend.
Guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Bye, Suzanne.
Let's do it again soon.
Yeah. Cheers, everybody. Right on. Yep. Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.